to Oberhof because the conditions were so windy. That pushed the averages down a little bit.
Borut Nunar, the race director, about to fire his starter's gun.
We're underway. First of two races today, the last day in Soldier Hollow, and then the teams will start to prepare for the journey to Sweden. Most of them will
on their ski track before the stand shoot.
Now, teams 19, 20, 21, 22 are usually first to strike, and because there are so many teams on the range at once, we often don't have their target on the screen. Estonia are, and they were the first to get a target down. Now, Canada with Christian Gau absolutely flying through the target. Oh, he's thrown number 5 wide, so a spare round required from him. Slovenia are away. Poland 5 out of 5. Belarus 5 out of 5. And Norway get all 5 down at the first time of asking. Good shooting from Bjørntegard. Ukraine, likewise. Dmitry Pedrushny, pretty consistent with the rifle. And he's up and away. Nothing really between the leading, 10 teams, 6 seconds separating 22 teams coming into the range. Away go, I think it must be. He's recovered very, very well. So he's done that second loop 11 seconds, 11 and a half seconds quicker than the men surrounding him. It could pay dividends. It may not.
Look at the flag. Find out. Just thinking, compared to yesterday, the flags were blowing so strong left to right. Nice, gentle breeze today.
Hoffer's on a roll, 3 out of 3. Hope I haven't spoken too soon. Does he make it 5 out of 5? No is the answer. A spare round required. Ukraine yet to miss a target. They get 5 out of 5. Estonia go clean as well. Japan and Russia keep themselves in the race. And don't say that was Lucas Hoffer. It was Hoffer going down. So things not all going the Italians' way at the moment this week.
And here's the handover. So the men, having completed 2 laps, now handing over to the women. Short exchange zone. And probably a few tangles in this exchange zone. Try and figure that one out. Oh, broken pole there from Lukas Hoffer. He fell on the range. His ski pole was snapped on the exchange. He quickly needs to get his coaches to find another.
Well, after all that, Italy still getting away in a decent position. And let's hope that nothing else goes wrong for them. Penalty loops for Bulgaria. Just seeing who else has been on the penalty loop. Mario Dolda missing 4 on that stand. So he's done a shortened penalty loop and it's pushed him right down. Christian Gau, having been brilliant, the yellow bib, she has relinquished that to her teammate Lisa Vitozzi, who is now the person under pressure. It doesn't help many of the athletes. Now, Vera's first target is down. Estonia matching them shot for shot. There's the first miss from Dorothy Vera. And Estonia stay clean. That's how to win these relays. Just make sure of the targets. Don't throw away the 6 to 10 seconds that it takes to reload and aim. Not as cold as it was in Canada, where the reload was a very, very awkward procedure. Austria go clear. They've yet to miss. Poland, Belarus, Japan, all shooting well. It keeps them in the running for the win here.
Tandrevold for Norway. I thought she might pull them back into it. She missed 1 target. Reloading. Needs to get this one if she can on first taking. Yes, she can.
Now, we haven't mentioned Germany so far. They've selected Roman Rees and Franziska Preutz, which is certainly a good team. Rees just lacking a little bit of speed in yesterday's pursuit, but shooting okay. Out go the Americans, 30 seconds down. They're still in it. Tandrevold of Norway, 32.
Just go back into your your carefree, non-thinking shooting. Just do what you love most, as you did when you were a kid. As a kid, you just picked the rifle up and rapid-fired everything.
Yeah, believe in yourself, I think would be some good advice from the coach. She's away. 5 out of 5 would be real tonic. Look at that. That is how to do it. And that might mean we see even more vintage Vera when it comes to the second shoot on the last leg of this relay. So round she comes. Lucas Hoffer is now ready to go after a pretty messy first leg, it has to be said. Hoffer gets a chance to make amends and expand the lead that Dorothy Vera is going to give him. Good skiing from Vera. Remember, she came out of the range some 7-8 seconds behind. She's going to hand over 5 or 6 seconds ahead. Italy have the top spot for now. Estonia still going well, as are France. Austria are out. Zima coming through for Ukraine, and Sweden with Schottheimer there. America in 7th at the moment. No sign of the Norwegians. They've not had a good race so far. Franziska Preutz in 11. Tandrevold Nooy, there she is in 12th position.
Tandrevold, that's a lot of work to do, but Bjørntegard, when it comes to ski time, I think he can close a large margin, or a margin at least of that 41 seconds.
We can assume that Hoffer and Vera will team up in Östersund.
I think so. World Championships, you want to secure as many goals as you can, and when you put those two names together, fast shooting, fast skiing, Hoffer is always what, top 5, top 6.
But even in the mixed relay, with Vera Vitozzi, 1 and 2 in the World Cup standings, Hoffer, who's quick, top 15 of the World Cup standings, Vindish, who has won a World Cup, you would have thought they had a pretty good chance in the mixed relay.
And of course, that's where they got the medal at the Olympic Games as a team. And that's what gave those 4 the funding to stick as an elite group this summer in all training camps, just 4 of them. Lukas has missed 1.
Estonia, their first target missed. Hoffer's going to be the first away, saved by the fact that both France and Estonia missing targets. Good shooting from Austria, as you would expect from Simonader. He's moving back up into 2nd place. So the top 2, or the 2 favourites, 1 and 2 at the moment. France are always going to be dangerous with Guiganard and Julia Simon. Simon now 22. She's been pretty solid with the rifle until yesterday, actually, all the way from Ruhpolding through to yesterday's race. But she looked pretty good on the first leg. Another miss from the Norwegians. That's Erlend Bjørntegard throwing a prone wide, and the clock ticking away. He's going to be at least 25 seconds behind, probably closer to 35, I think. And trailing the Americans.
Back to yet Doherty, but he's missed 3 this time, 3 spare rounds. That's losing, what, 8-16, around 18, 19 seconds in total.
Well, taking 3 spares, he's done well to keep the margin at 33 seconds. Top 10 teams 39 seconds apart. Mario Dolder of Switzerland just exiting. It went wrong early on for the Swiss. A penalty loop really putting them out of contention. They were down in 14th place at the... Whichever of these leading 4 teams goes clear will give themselves a huge advantage for the final leg. Here we go. Ada, left-handed, slightly awkward entry onto the map.
It took a long time, Lukas, for that first shot. Got his rhythm back now.
4 out of 5, just as he did first time. Simonader takes his time, makes sure, and it's Ada who's going to hand over to Hauser first. Estonia and Italy will be right on their tail. Guiganard, that Mike, has had a meltdown. He's now got 3 rounds and 3 targets remaining. I think that might well see France out of the contention for the win here. And there's Lisa-Therese Hauser. She's going away first. We've seen these two perform well at Schalke, Mike. We've seen them do well in the World Cups before. 2nd in Pachuca at the start of the year. They're now in top spot, but it's not a massive margin. And Dorothy Vera considerably faster than Lisa-Therese Hauser.
She certainly is. And of course, Estonia, Oya there. Just what a pity she's detached by. It's not a big margin, just a couple of seconds.
24 minutes at the 2nd exchange. The first exchange was at the 2nd exchange was at 16:06 through to 24. So just under 8 minutes for that lap. The first leg for the men was 7:38.
It was indeed. So the shooting dropped off a little 2nd time around. Remember, we had 13 athletes first time in to shoot who shot the perfect 5 out of 5. Wasn't the case in the men's field the 2nd time.
Any news on the Canadians, who had a strong team, but it all went wrong early on? They were 15th last time we saw. They've got so the penultimate shoot, prone position, of course. And Vera perhaps a little bit quick with the first shot last time round. Threw it wide.
These 2 women are the fastest, normally the fastest shooters in the women's field, side by side.
Vera fractionally quicker than Hauser, but when you miss, it does open the door for the opposition. Hauser takes the opportunity. She'll start away, but the gap is not significant enough. And Vera now can decide, do I stay with Hauser? Do I tuck in behind and get a slightly easier ride on this lap? Or does she go ahead and try and make the Austrian hurt, push the Austrian beyond what is normally comfortable?
I think Dorothy Vera will take your second option. I think she'll pass her. I think she'll try and extend, create a lead, but it'll be done on the hill.
Oh, Estonia have missed as many shots on this shoot as they have done in the whole race so far.
That was interesting. Oh yeah, her brain thought she'd hit it. She was almost out of position and lost a lot of time.
Well, what a recovery from France. Julia Simon has absolutely flown. The French were 35.9 behind. That hasn't really changed, but they closed up on Estonia and gone through. A penalty loop for the Estonians, having been perfect with the rifle up until the halfway stage. How quickly things can change. And what a performance from Susan Dunkley, Mike. She's gone all the way up into fourth, having started this leg down in ninth position.
Now, who said the Americans were going to do well today? But I know there's one more shoot left. Same thing. She's got that very relaxed attitude throughout her whole body.
But just as she prepares for the first shot, Hauser is going to draw up alongside her, and she probably won't be as quiet as she could be.
This will be fast.
She's how to do it. That is how to do it. Hoffer knows the victory is his, and they've cleared 5 before Austria strike the first. That's what we saw at the beginning of the season, time and time again, when she was battling it out with Kaisa Mäkäräinen, and it's great to see Vera back to her best. Well done to Hauser, held her nerve there, no real pressure coming from behind, and she knows she hasn't got a chance of closing down 10, 11, 12 seconds on Vera, but Hauser's done well. Could she have done anything else on the first shoot? I don't think so.
Not really. It's unfortunate. In total, the Austrian team have missed only 2 targets, so really it's all about the ski speed. Susan Dunkley coming in now, hoping that the podium is still in sight.
That's going to depend on Julia Simon's performance with the rifle. No mistakes so far. 4 sounded like a half hit, but the target's gone down. 5 was clean, and so France securing 3rd place. 4th would be good for the Americans, but
slight wobble in Susan's body there. You saw the rifle and the whole body moving.
Oh, Mike, 3 shots, no targets down. And now it looks very likely that America will end up on the penalty loop, and instead of 4th, they could drop all the way down outside the top 10.
What a pity. And you know, you put yourself, well, it is the penalty loop now, you put yourself in new situations at home. Very rare that the World Cups come to America. Oh, it's just such a pity now. Rapid into position, rapid fire shooting.
Yeah, and by far and away the best shoot of the day, that final standing shoot. Vintage Vera, just what we saw in Pakuka and Hopfilson at the start of the season. Nice to see her producing that again, and we hope we see some of that in the closing stages of the season, because she's now trying to get back into top spot in the World Cup standings.
You know what, and when it started so badly for Lukas Hoffer, he fell as he exited the range, he snapped a ski pole, everything seemed to go wrong.
Austria put their golden eggs into the single mix relay basket, and they've come away with 2nd place. Hauser and Ada. Simon Ada didn't look quite himself in terms of targets. They only missed 2, Mike, so the shooting was excellent. Ada's ski speed just seemed to be off the boil a little.
It does, and so many athletes are exhausted practically. With OK Canada, they gained an extra day off, but then the journey time in between after a very busy January.
And France, who are an immensely strong team, both the men and the women's tour. 5 men in the top of the top 20 in the World Cup standings. And a sprint for 4th place between Norway on the left and Germany on the right. Preutz for Norway, Preutz for Germany, and Tandrevold just missing out for Norway. So in the end, all the big teams coming through. Mike, Estonia threatened, Ukraine threatened, Sweden threatened, but mistakes in the closing stages.
Mistakes, and just to refresh, Susan Dunkley, we saw her missing 3, she had spare rounds left. Unfortunately, she only missed 1 with the 3 spare rounds, so 2 penalty loops, and from 4th position
all the way down to 13th.
She might make some time back on this final ski.
Might just get back. I was going to say top 10, but that's not going to happen, because looks like, is that Japan coming through to take 10th place? We got Poland in 9, Japan in 10. Team 6, that's Canada with Rosanna Crawford. The Canadians missing 12 targets. No penalty loops, but 12 targets missed. And a penalty loop for Dunkley, pushing them from a very respectable 4th down into a miserable 14th.